Atomic Structure Part 2. In this lesson, we'll learn about ions and isotopes. As you watch the video, please pause and copy down the notes frequently. For additional help, refer to Chapter 11 in your online book. Remember Adam's family? The rows that negative electron Elliott brothers write around are called orbital shells. Remember that in the first shell, you can have up to 2 electrons. In the second shell, up to 8 electrons. And in the third shell, you have up to 18 electrons. Now, when you get to high school chemistry, you'll learn that there are suborbitals within these big orbitals. But for right now, we're just going to do it in big chunks, so we're only concerned about the number 2, 8, 18. In order for the electrons to jump to the next orbit, they have to fill this number before they can get there. Pause this video and copy down these 2 words in your vocab sheet. Atoms have no overall electrical charge, so an atom must have as many electrons there are as they do in protons. So number of electrons will also equal to number of protons in most cases. Kind of like how Mattersville's morale or the mood was neutral, because for every positive Patty sister, they had 1 negative Elliott brother, right? So it kind of balanced each other out. Now, what happened if a negative brother left town? If negative brother leaves town, then the morale of the town becomes positive, right? When an atom loses or gains an electron, we call those ions. So in Mattersville, when we lost an Elliott brother, or if we gain an Elliott brother, then we're going to say that Mattersville is now turned into an ion. If you lose an electron, then the atom becomes positive because you lost something that was negative. Kind of like if you lose a negative brother, the town becomes more positive. Now, if you gain an electron, since electrons are already negatively charged, if you gain an Elliott brother, a negative brother, then the town becomes negative, so the atom becomes a negative ion. Isotopes deal with the number of neutrons in an atom. Now, different atoms of the same element can have exact same number of protons, exactly the same number of electrons, but they can have different numbers of neutrons. These isotopes will remain being the same element because I haven't changed the number of protons. However, the atomic mass changes since mass is equal to number of protons plus neutrons. If I'm increasing neutron, then of course my mass will also change as well. Let's take a look at an example. A regular oxygen atom has atomic mass unit of 16. Its atomic number is 8, which means that the number of protons are 8, number of electrons are 8, and the number of neutrons are 8. And it kind of makes sense since atomic mass is equal to number of protons plus number of neutrons, right? So 8 plus 8 is 16. Now, an isotope, a variation of that oxygen, one of them is oxygen 18. What does this mean? It means that still proton is 8, since proton is what determines what kind of element it is. It's still oxygen, so it has to be 8. Okay, so for every proton, there's an equal number of electrons. Since this is not an ion, it's an isotope, so the number is still 8 for electrons. But neutrons now, it's atomic mass, this is my atomic mass, minus the number of protons. So what is my number of neutrons? Did you say 10? Good. The number of neutrons for this isotope is 10. So as you can see, isotope is a variation of an element where just the number of neutrons are different. So let's review. What is the difference between ion and an isotope? Ion is an atom that loses or gains electron. It has to do with electron. You guys maybe have heard of the Ion Channel on television, and their slogan is positively entertaining, right? So think about it. If you lose an electron, then it becomes a positive ion, and so hence the ion and the channel saying that it's positively entertaining. Get it? All right, now if it gains an electron, then it becomes a negative ion. So isotope has to do with the number of neutrons. This makes an atom have different number of atomic mass. You write the isotope name with the element symbol and the number of neutrons plus the number of protons. So for example, Carbon, atomic number 6, has 6 protons. So carbon 16, an isotope, would be something that has 6 protons, 6 electrons, but how many neutrons does it have? Good, it would have 8, since 6 plus 8 equals 14. Pause this video and do the quick check on your own. Isotopes exist because atoms of the same elements can have the different numbers of, since we're dealing with isotopes, I know that this has to do with neutrons. Good. What if the question were to ask about ions? Then you would answer electrons. Good. Advanced students, please move on to section 3. If any of this concept was confusing to you, please review and replay this video.